Good morning. I'm Dr. Jack Trishell, and I'm the Director of Academic Advising here at East Stroudsburg University. I would like my colleagues to introduce themselves at this time.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Jessica Santiago, a faculty member in the Department of Academic Enrichment and Learning.
And I'm Jan Hoffman. I'm an academic success coach in the Department of Academic Enrichment and Learning.
So this Zoom video is a first for us in these times of social distancing. It is difficult to be in front of a camera rather than in front of a live audience. So we're asking that you please forgive our bloopers, which we will undoubtedly have. So first and foremost, congratulations on your acceptance to East Stroudsburg University. You made an excellent decision to select exploratory studies as your academic program. We know that there are virtually no 18 or 19-year-olds who know what they want to do for the entire rest of their life. We encourage major exploration beginning with your very first semester here at East Stroudsburg University through relevant course selection. We want to build your schedule for fall 2020 based on what you want, based on best fit for your academic curiosities. So next week, I'll be sending you a link so that you can select a few classes that you're interested in. So check your ESU email account. We know that 20 to 50% of students who enter college are undeclared. So you're not alone. And in fact, you probably will be ahead of your peers because many of them will change their majors at least once. The statistics show that at least 75% of students change their major at least one time before they turn into a senior. Once I had a student who saw me last year who changed their major 13 times in a 3-year period. That's not something we want for you. Our motto is explore, discover, and declare. We want you to explore your areas of interest and areas of curiosity. We will help you to discover your likes and interests, and we will begin to understand your values as well. As soon as possible, we'll help you find your calling, your major area of study, and will help guide you through declaration. This should happen between 2 and 3 semesters. Now I'll turn it over to Jan. Jan?
Good morning. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what exactly it means to explore, discover, and declare. The exploratory process in choosing a major really involves gaining knowledge. You can never ask for certainty without experience. So we like our students to come into their freshman year and start learning about different majors of interest to them, but also what can they do with this major? Where can it go? What are they interested in? If there's people out there who have majors or jobs or careers that seem interesting, we encourage them to have those conversations to start learning more. Most importantly, we ask our students to start paying more attention to the coursework that they're going to be taking. So when we're building your schedule for you, it really is an exploratory process. All the classes that are on your schedule will count towards graduation, but there are also going to be classes that you're curious about. So then you can decide with experience as to whether or not you like that class enough to take another class in the same subject, and then maybe declare it a major. So discover is the next part of the major exploration process. As you're exploring different classes and you're exploring different careers and where majors match, you're going to discover what is most interesting to you. You're going to discover things that you're really good at that you didn't know about. You're going to study things that you're going to learn about things that you really enjoy. And you're going to learn what it is about this work that makes you feel good. And as you discover those things, you gain more confidence to want to declare your major because you're really excited about what you're learning. So we really encourage the discovery process as part of major exploration. So you can declare with confidence. And I think that's the biggest difference about coming into college undeclared versus coming in with a declared major, because a lot of students who are coming in with a declared major that we wind up working with later on after they change their mind is they're making these decisions when they're still in high school, when they don't have the information in front of them or the experience behind them to really know what the course curriculum is about with this major, as well as if they actually like it and if they're good at the coursework. So you can declare with confidence is a huge strength to coming in as an undeclared student. We really like to consider your values, skills, and interests. These are the things that you really have to think about when you're declaring a major. A lot of times I feel like students might overthink, and a lot of times it just comes down to, well, when you go to class, what class do you enjoy being in? When you're in that class, you're interested in what the professor's talking about, the questions that the other students are asking, and when you go home to have to do the work, although you're still having to do work and not always excited about it, you wind up feeling engaged and curious about what you're learning. Then when you answer that question, you usually have your major. You should feel excited, you should feel engaged, you should feel confident because you can do the work well. A lot of times students feel a little overwhelmed when they start to try to think about things they're good at and things I do well. And a lot of times students will say, well, I don't really think I have any special talents. And I think talents is a word that we don't really identify. We often think about people with grandiose abilities, such as, you know, an NFL quarterback or, you know, Van Gogh with his art talent. But really, all of us have talents, and we really need to learn about what it is that we can do better than other people, and when we do it, it looks really easy. So a lot of times a student will be thinking, well, everybody's good at psychology. No, not everyone is good at psychology. You are, and that's because it's interesting to you, and you have a knack for it. You have a talent. So talents can be in the way we organize, it's in the way we think, it's the way we may talk or communicate. There's a lot of abilities that go into talent. So it's just something you do well that makes other people think it's really easy when it's not.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how we eliminate options that don't fit with your interest, aptitudes, and values, as Jan had mentioned, and Dr. Deschaux, in terms of like how our motto with Explore, Discover, and Declare. I think it's that constant dialogue that we have with our students. It's not like one of us or any of us just kind of create a schedule. No, it's that constant conversation that we have with them. We build that rapport with them. You know, even sometimes when they do finally declare, we find students do come back to us and feel comfortable because we create that rapport, that comfortable space for students to come and ask any question and not feel awkward that they're asking. You know, we go over different majors and careers, as my colleagues have mentioned. You know, we go over what are things that you're curious, what are things that you're good at, you know, to kind of encourage that thinking process so that we can create a perfect schedule for a student. We like to think that we really can change the trajectory of a student's life with those conversations. You know, we talk about what employers are looking for in terms of, you know, degree, skills, experience, and not always really a major too. I like to sometimes give my personal background in terms of, you know, I'm a graduate of ESU. My major was psych and criminal justice. I talk about a little bit of my experience and careers that I've had prior to coming into higher ed. And I think sometimes students really appreciate that. I think sometimes we even go over just a combination of majors, you know. For some students, we may talk about, you know, dual majoring or maybe a minor. Sometimes we have different concentrations. We even have some certificate programs. Maybe a student's interested in exercise science and we're looking at some of the health certificates that we offer. We also sometimes even talking about internships, opportunities in the community. I think the three of us really pride ourselves in, communicating with other individuals around campus. We like to refer students sometimes maybe to career services and other resources, maybe to even talk to some other faculty with some of the majors that a student may be interested, have some conversations with those folks in those areas as well. Now I'm going to go over the gen eds. I think the three of us really spend a lot of time so that our students really understand that no matter what major they decide to go into, every student has to complete 45 credits of gen eds. So we really have a great form that really spells things out. And I'm going to explain the four different areas that we have here. So the first area is that every student needs to complete. So that's that all three are required. So that's that English 103, first year experience, and health and wellness. One thing about the English 103 is that the student really becomes comfortable in doing some research. We refer students sometimes to the writing lab, to tutoring and other resources so they become stronger writers. For first year experience, that's a great course. Many of us teach in our department as well. And that course gives the outline of how our student can be successful in their first year and throughout. That course is really unique because the textbook was written by the faculty in our department. And so the faculty actually put great input into it, and the money that is created in there goes back to our students into a scholarship fund. So I think that's something that's great. In first year experience, every student gets a peer mentor. So that student gets to, interact with not only in the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. And with health and wellness, it's a great course. It's a two-parted course where there is going to be, hands-on as well as the academic piece. So the students get to understand the importance of fitness and wellness. In the next area, those are the arts and letters, okay? So in the next three areas, the student has to complete 4, okay? So there's some option, if a student says to me, I really don't want to take a foreign language, well, then maybe we don't have to. So we'll look at the other remaining areas to grade that schedule. So as you see in right there, the arts and letters, there's English, fine art, foreign language, performing arts, and philosophy. And we'll explain some of those options of those courses within each of those areas as well, so a student can select the best course for themselves, okay? The next area is the natural science. Again, 4 classes are needed. We have lots of in there. There's biochem, computer science, math, physics, and psychology. And again, we'll look at the courses related within each of those areas to create the best schedule. And then just kind of a side note, if a student does have an intended major or something of interest, we'll go ahead and pull those requirements of that major. So if there's like bio 1 versus general bio that they may need, and it's a gen ed, we may give that student, that appropriate biology course so that it satisfied both the major they're intending to go, as well as that gen ed. And then we have that last area, that social science area, where again, they need 4 courses, and those areas are economics, geography, history, political science, and sociology. And again, we'll explain some of the great options that they have in each of those areas as well.
So one of the things that I think makes our department so unique and so good at what we do, and the reason why we're so good at engaging our students, is because we don't really just advise our students, we advise through academic coaching. And what I mean by coaching is it's just as Dr. Santiago described, we work with our students very closely. We're not just throwing courses out at you and telling you you need to satisfy this course, and this course, and send you on your way. We're really working hard to build a relationship with you to learn what is it that you're interested in? What is it that you enjoy, that you do well, and what makes you feel good about being a college student? And we incorporate that into your coursework. And we're the only department on campus that approaches advising through a coaching methodology and really trying to engage and understand with our students. Most of our students come back to us even after they've declared, because they receive such good advising expertise and genuine care for their curriculum as they're going through their first 45 credits with us. And we're very proud of that. And I think it's a huge testament to the expertise of the professionals who work in our department.
So students benefit from a structured approach, as what Jan just explained. We ask them to do some self-exploration where they engage in a learning experience related to their personal growth, their personal goals, and their values. And what we try to do is successfully match their academic and personal needs with the professional aspect of the discipline. We develop meaningful educational plans. We look at students' interests, goals, and values, and then we move forward with using the best general education program courses that we can to satisfy their various needs.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about, okay, how do our students find us? How do they pick appointments? So if they were to go to just esu.edu and under academics, or if they want to do the search engine exploratory studies, this is the screen that they will come up to. And right on your right-hand side, it says make an appointment in that gray box. A student will click on there, and our platform of what everybody kind of knows as like Warrior Fish or you know, that kind of platform, they're allowed to pick appointments in there. So it'll have everybody's in our department's calendar. And so then a student can make sure that they pick a time where they are not in class, or if there's other extracurricular activities that would interfere, or sports, anything like that, they can pick an appointment that it works for both the advisor, academic coach, and student. And they can pick as many appointments as they want to. It doesn't only have to be during, you know, an advising period time of scheduling. They can pick as many as they want if they want to touch base with us in regards to certain things. That is the platform that we use for our students to pick appointments, and it's, students say it's really user friendly.
So we do have social media at ESU Advising. Success Starts Here is our Twitter hashtag and our Twitter address. You can find us there. We post a lot of really good, helpful information, not just on on-campus updates, but also information that's going to help you as a college student or you as a college parent understand what's going on and some best practices. A lot of shout outs to students who are doing well, or announcements and reminders of important dates that are coming up. So at ESU Advising is a great place to follow us.
So we want to thank you for allowing us to present this to you today. And we want to let you know that we will be available live right after this Zoom video to answer questions and respond to any concerns that you may have. We'd like you to have a nice and healthy and safe day.
Thank you.
Thank you.